regime to the media in order to convince foolish Americans that war against Iran is simple. This war was supposed to end in a day or two. The 12-day war was supposed to bring Iran down like a house of cards. That failed, this failed, and now the United States will have to pay the price. And if the United States escalates, that will mean that the most sensitive region in the world, the Persian Gulf, where a quarter of the world's energy comes from, everything could be destroyed. And if that happens, it doesn't even matter if the Strait of Hormuz is open or closed, because there will be no oil or gas, and there will be no tankers. For Iran, this is a fight for survival. For the United States, this is a war of choice, a choice that has been imposed upon the American people by the Epstein class. We will expel the United States from our homeland, and we will make sure that the United States never again thinks about aggression against our country. And we will not allow the Israeli regime to behave with impunity and to continue genocide against the Palestinian people.
Yo, am I like a terrorist or a really bad person? Because I gotta be honest with you, when I read and hear from the spokesperson for Iran, that should be hitting my soul, bro. Like, it's so like good. It's so the claim that Iran was planning on attacking the US or US forces is a sheer and utter lie. Like, yeah, that hits, bro. If they hit us with anything, we would have nuked their asses back to the Stone Age so fast, buddy. And then he says, the sole purpose of that lie is to justify Operation Epic Mistake, a misadventure engineered by Israel and paid for by ordinary Americans. Now that hits, bro. I just paid my taxes. I've been paying taxes. They take all my money, bro. They take everything. Like, all we do in business is like figure out shit. How can we pay less in taxes? And then they go and they drop $30 billion worth of bombs and other military activity in 10 days. Why? Oh, well, we were gonna get attacked.
Is Donald Trump going to send US troops to Iran? My guess is yes, because it is more economical. Hear me out. The Pentagon recently told Congress that the first week of war in Iran has cost more than $11.3 billion. Trump's war on Iran is costing American taxpayers $1 billion per day. Trump administration believed that this war with Iran was going to be quick and easy, and it's proving otherwise. In the first 100 hours of this war, it cost $5.6 billion. $3.7 billion was spent on air and naval operations. And that's basically how the US and Israel is fighting this war, through heavy air and naval operations. Now let's look at the approximate salary of a US soldier. It's anywhere between $25,000 to $43,000 annually. The US government spends around $140,000 on one single active duty service member, and that includes compensation, training, benefits, etc. Now let's look at the cost of US Army aircrafts. For just 24 Blackhawks, it costs $790 million. It would be cheaper for the United States to send thousands of US soldiers to die in war than to have 24 Blackhawks be destroyed in war. You have to remember that this is a war of attrition, and Iran's strategy is asymmetric warfare. They want to make this long and expensive for the United States and Israel. And the United States has already spent so much money in this war, and it hasn't even been a month yet. I believe that the most sensible next step for the United States is to have troops on the ground if they want to win this war. This war is not going to be like Iraq or Afghanistan. This war will be more like Vietnam. The United States is not even being honest about the number of US soldiers that have been killed in the war in Iran. The Pentagon recently said that 140 US troops have been injured in the war so far. They're also being very peculiar about how these soldiers are dying. Like, look at this article. NYPD officer dies in medical episode while deployed to Kuwait in Iran war. What do you mean medical episode? Did he choke on a hot dog? Like, what is the reasoning? Most people look at the destruction happening in Iran and they think that the United States is winning. That is not how you win wars. To win this war, you need to have total surrender, the total collapse of your enemy's ability to resist, and the United States is nowhere near that. The war with Iran will look less like Iraq and Afghanistan and more like Vietnam. And it will be us, US taxpayers, that are going to have to pay the price of all of this. But there's still time to end this. We still can end this before this becomes a 20-year forever war.
Breaking news into the Don Lemon Show newsroom as it involves a war in Iran. Get ready for your gas prices to skyrocket because according to Iran, they said be prepared for the price for a barrel of oil to go up to $200. Right now, it's about $100. It hasn't hit that since 2022. However, gas right now is at $3.58 average a gallon. It was $3.48 a gallon yesterday. So 10 cents a day, you do the math. Within a matter of weeks, it'll be to $5, $6, $7 if this continues. Just so you know, when Joe Biden left office in 2025, gas prices were at about $3.11. Now they're at $3.58. Donald Trump likes to talk about gas prices. This is his own creation, a crisis of his own making. Let's see how he gets us out of this. But get ready to pay a lot more for gasoline.
Wouldn't it be wild that forward troops